Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So today we are reading from the 5th chapter. As most of you already know, we are somewhere sort of not quite in the middle, but we are in our series, the 108 key verses of the Bhagavad Gita. And today, last week we did verse 18, and this week we do 22. And we'll chant this together, and then I'll say a few things. Okay. Yehi sampashna jaboga.
Yehi sampasha jaboga.
Yehi sampasha jaboga.
Yehi sampasha jaboga.
Duhka yonaya evate.
Gayonaya evate.
Duhka yonaya evate.
Gayonaya evate.
Adyantavanta kaunteya.
Ajnantamanta kaunteya.
Adyantavanta kaunteya.
Ajnantamanta kaunteya.
Nate shuramate buddha.
Natishuramate Buddha.
Nate shuramate buddha.
Natishuramate Buddha.
Okay, so in the interest of time, one Prabhu and one Mataji. Who wants to chant? Who wants to repeat? Gayonaya evate. Adyantavanta kaunteya. Nate shuramate buddha. Lady? One brave lady. Wants to? No one? It's okay. Okay. Right, let's read the verse and the purport. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Purport. Material sense pleasures are due to the contact of the material senses, which are all temporary because the body itself is temporary. A liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary. Knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasures, how can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasure? In the Padma Purana, it is said, Ramante yogeno nante satyanande chit atmani iti ramapatte nasau parambrahma vidiyate. The mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the Absolute Truth, and therefore the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Ram. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, also 551, it is said, Nayam deho deha neham deho deha pachamri luke kastan gaman arhate vid pujam ye tapo divyam putrakat yena sattvam sudyet yasmat brahma sokyam tvanantam. My dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. Such pleasures are available to the stool eaters, the hogs. Rather, you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified, and as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. Therefore, those who are true yogis and learned transcendentalists are not attracted by sense pleasures, which are the causes of continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasures, the more he is entrapped by material miseries. Right. Just hold on a second. I just need to do one more prayer. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Sari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are talking about material pleasures. So it's very definitely said in this verse that a pure devotee does not worry about it. We have, who of you have been in Vrindavan before? Okay, so in Vrindavan, I saw this in Loy Bazaar, and it's a little bit gross before eating, but the example was given. I saw the hogs, the pigs. In Vrindavan, the sewers are all open. It's next to the road and it's not covered. So sometimes you see the pigs just having the best time of their life, walking through the sewers and chomping away at whatever there is. Anyway, for us, it's not so great, but for them, it's wonderful. So Krishna says that we don't really have to worry about getting pleasure or not getting pleasure. We all try and avoid pain, but we work very hard for pleasure. But actually, according to our karma, it comes and goes. There's a story. There was a king that asked his ministers, please get me something that will make me feel better in bad times, but also make me feel good, make me feel better in bad times, but also remind me that the good times are also not permanent. So someone made him a ring with the words, "This too shall pass." So once my brother, this too shall pass. Das geht auch vorbei. Also das geht wieder vorbei. So in the good times, he looked at the ring because he said he wanted to stay humble. So that was the thing. In the good times, he wanted something that would keep him humble. And in the bad times, he wanted something to make him feel better, to give him hope. So this ring, whenever it was really good, he would look at the ring and he said, "This too shall pass." So he's like, okay, I can't be too proud because the good things will go away again. And in the bad times, he looked at the ring and he said, and he would read, "This too shall pass." So even the bad times go, they go away. And this is what we experience in our life. And another thing about material existence is that Krishna says the pleasure is temporary. So the people, I mean, maybe none of you in this room, or very few of you in this room, we can see this whenever students, if you go to a university or you go anywhere where there's a festival, people are partying, they're having great fun, they're drinking, they're eating, and they feel wonderful because they're with their friends, they're enjoying and whatever, and then the next day they have a massive hangover. So the pleasure that they experienced the day before goes down the drain the day after. And The biggest material pleasure is obviously the pleasure that you get from the opposite sex, but that also is temporary. It doesn't last long, and you may be having fun with someone, but if you're trying to not get pregnant and then you get pregnant, then that's also not so fun anymore. So material pleasures, they don't last. And Sachinandan Swami gave a wonderful lecture. I mentioned this before. He gave a wonderful lecture, and in that lecture, he described it as an invisible fire. So let's think about a real fire for a minute. If we were here now in this temple, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we had some warnings coming through on the cell phone that there was some really severe fires in the, and because this is a valley, for days there was smoke, and everybody was worried about if it's going to start burning here, because let's be honest, it's wonderful living in a forest, but if there's a forest fire, it's not the best place to live. So, but let's say, knock wood, that it doesn't happen, but let's say there is a fire in the temple right now, a really bad fire. What is the first thing that everybody wants to do? If someone comes in now and say fire, what's the first thing that we do? Huh? You want to be safe, and what do you do to be? Huh? You run away. Huh? So no matter what happens, we run away. So then the prasadam in the kitchen, we don't care about that for that moment. We don't care about anything else other than not being close to the fire. So that's what we do in a real fire. When there's a real fire, we are immediately very, very careful, or we go away. We go in the opposite direction. But the material fire is invisible. The material sense gratification fire is invisible, and people don't see it, but they experience it. They don't understand why they are, for instance, in love in the beginning, but then they start fighting. Or if you eat a whole bar of chocolate, then you get stomach cramps a little bit later. Or if you go swimming with your friends and then you get a sunburn a little bit later. All the things, all the material things, if we work at becoming happy, whatever it is that you want to make you happy. What makes me happy is if I can just stay at home. I don't have to cook, I don't have to clean, I can just lie on my bed and read. That's what makes me really happy. But what happens? I start getting cramps, I have to move, I have to go to the bathroom, my eyes start swimming and whatever. So even that, it doesn't last. But it's wonderful while it lasts, but it doesn't last. So what we as devotees do, the whole point of spiritual life is to finally get special vision to see this material fire. It's like it's invisible to you, but then you meet someone that gives you Prabhupada's books, or you hear a kirtan, or you meet someone on the street, or you come to the temple and you hang out with people, and then you start realizing, it's like you start seeing it, and then it becomes easier to avoid it. So what we want to do is we want to have pleasure, or we try and have pleasure that doesn't go away. That's forever. And the best kind of pleasure is obviously the things that we do for Krishna. So whenever, no matter how small it is, if you do something for Krishna, you get joy from it. In the beginning, because we're so absolutely sick and crazy, all of us, not yeah, we are sort of all a little bit crazy. It's like if you have jaundice, if your liver is sick, then everything sweet. If you eat the sweet, then you're like blech, it's bitter. No? It becomes bitter. So that's like so. Whenever in the beginning, the things that we do for Krishna may taste a little bit bitter, but it's only because we're sick. We have to just give it some time to become healthy again. But there's a wonderful story of a brahmana. It's another story that Satyanandan Swami told. You know, and this brahmana, his name was Vishnu Chitta, and he had reached a level of Krishna consciousness where he didn't. So his service was to pick flowers for Krishna every day. That was his service. He was close to a temple, and his service was he just picks flowers. And he was so attached to this service that anything else, just he didn't bother about it. Like he would, this is obviously India, and he would, if he would go, he goes through the garden and he picks flowers. And one day, while he was picking flowers, he saw a big cobra. So a cobra, yeah. He saw a big cobra and he's like, "Ooh, okay, that's not a flower," and he just continued picking. So normal people would just run away. We would think, cobra, and run away, but he's just, it's not a flower. He just continued picking. And yeah, so there's another wonderful story. I don't know what year it was, but it was many years ago. One of our spiritual masters in our movement, Kadamakanana Swami, he was at that time he was president of the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, and there was a cook that cooked for the deities every day. Now, in Vrindavan, they get early morning Mangal sweets. They get breakfast. They get they get noon Raj Bhoga Arti. They get an afternoon snack. They get supper, and then they get a snack before they go to sleep. So it's like 6 or 7 different things that cook was cooking, and he was cooking everything, all the things. So, and he had been a cook for 25 years, I think, and he was so in love with his service. He enjoyed that service so much. For that 25 years, he never left the temple. He basically, all he did was he cooked, he did his japa, he went, I think he went out, just out of the temple to go and buy food that he would use, and then he would come back. And then, but imagine if you have to stand on your feet for 10 hours a day for 25 years, 7 days a week. His feet just, they got swollen, and he couldn't stand anymore, and he couldn't do the service anymore. And then in his place, when he retired, Kadamakanana Swami said he had to hire 6 other people to do the job of just one person. So that's how much he enjoyed this service. And I'm not saying that if you serve Krishna that it will always go smoothly. Things will go wrong, because this is the material world. I'm pretty sure that he had to be. It was hot in the summer. It was cold in the winter, and just the other day, for instance, if my service is doing the technical stuff, and the other day the camera stand wasn't here, and then I was like, oh, where's the camera stand? Or there are things going wrong. But it's such a nice service that you don't mind. And if you have to compare the things that we do for Krishna versus the things that we do for ourselves without Krishna, then there's definitely more joy in doing something for Krishna than just for ourselves. So yeah, and the wonderful thing is that Krishna loves variety. So each and every one of us is an individual person. We have our individual strengths and weaknesses and likes and dislikes, and we can just use those for Krishna. There's no one way of serving Krishna. Krishna says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Shmaranam. We have to remember him in some way. We have to sing together. We should do our japa, but everything else, that's up to you. How you want to serve Krishna is up to you. It doesn't matter. Some people love. We have our Sri Radha. She's a wonderful dance teacher. We have people who love working in the garden. We have people who love working in the deity department, cooking. Vishnu Priya is very good in baking cookies for Krishna. We have people who do the bouquets and the flowers, the vases on the altar. We have people who take care of the temple. Frank is always here fixing something, or anything. It's the things that they are already good at, but now they just choose to do it for Krishna. So Krishna says, whenever if you offer me a fruit, a leaf, a bit of water, and what's the fourth one? A fruit, a leaf, water. Yeah, three. Yeah. Then he's happy with prasadam. So maybe being a butcher is maybe not such a good idea. I mean, you can use the money for Krishna, but I mean, it's better to not. So there are certain things that you should maybe change if they are in your life. But no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter what situation your life is, there's always something that you can do for Krishna, and it's if it's a burden, then you know that there's maybe something not right. You're not doing it properly, or you've offended someone. But serving Krishna is always wonderful. And to tie this to our Julan Yatra, so the Julian Yatra is one of those eternal, wonderful pastimes that is just always joyous, and we get to take part in it. So just for those of you who weren't in the class this morning, Madhava Priya told a wonderful story about Krishna and Radha. So one of the stories, there are many different kind of swing stories, but the one that I like the most is what she told this morning. So Krishna and Radha, the swing was set up, and Krishna was already sitting on the swing, and he's like, Radha, come, we have to. It's like, no, you always go too fast. You're always too wild. I don't want to swing with you. And he's like, no, I promise, I promise, I won't go too fast. The Sakis, your friends will push us. I'll do nothing. Just come and sit here and swing with me. And I don't know about you, but I'm always, if I think about swinging or jumping on a trampoline or a water slide, it's always the children that have the swings and the water slides and the trampolines, but very rarely grown-ups. But I don't know about you, but I also like swinging. It would be wonderful if they would have an adult-sized park somewhere where the adults can go swing or just have fun. So this is what Krishna and Radha, they were still young, but then Krishna says, "Okay, I promise, I'll be good." And then at some stage, obviously being Krishna, he started using his feet so that the gopis, when they pushed, they weren't pushing. He started controlling the swing with his feet. So he started going higher and higher and higher. And Radha was like freaking out. And then she kind of just, like a monkey, held on to Krishna. And that's obviously what he wanted. And so he even went so far that the swing was going all the way around. So, and he was great. She was screaming and she was like, "Krishna, no, 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 no." But he was having the time of his life because she was holding on to him. And that's what it's all about. So even in Krishna Leela, you have Krishna's very naughty. I mean, he's always up to mischief. So if we think about spiritual life, it's not always Shanti and whatever. Krishna wants personality. So each and every one of us has something that Krishna wants from us. And he just wants to be our friend. So the whole point of spiritual life, and not just Krishna consciousness, but Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, whatever, the whole point of spirituality is having some relationship with God. It's about the relationship. It's about the how close you can get to God. Now, all the other religions have a different flavor, but in Krishna consciousness, we really try and focus on being very personal with Krishna, and the things that in the material world, our eyes, our nose, our taste, our ears, all those five senses, they can lead us astray. They can get us into trouble. But spiritual life is about trying to use your senses in a way that will make Krishna happy. So we have today we have an opportunity. Just a question. Adishesh, diese ganze Kirtan-Ding draußen wird. Nee, ich meine, werden wir noch uns draußen treffen? Da war. Nee, okay. Okay, so we all had the opportunity to swing Krishna, and we will have an opportunity to swing Krishna for the next few days. And now, luckily, there's no fire, so we can all just relax and have prasadam. That's the best. That's the next part of the happiness in Krishna consciousness, is the prasad. And also, it's Ekadashi today. So on Ekadashi, you can say Ekadashi days where we fast from grains and beans. It's my Guru Maharaj always tells, he describes it, I think Prabhupada also used it. He said it's the mother of devotion. It's like a day where we try and do a little bit more for Krishna, chant some extra rounds, cook something for him, or do something extra. And that it's much more powerful, and that will help you in your spiritual journey. So eat a lot of prasadam today, and we are going to so after the lecture. Now, just to end off, does anybody have any questions or comments or ideas or stories that you want to share? Let me ask this. Is there any one of you who would like to share where you had this feeling of doing something for Krishna and you felt really good about it? It made you could feel the happiness. Any I'm a teacher, so I like talking. So what I'm doing now is very nice. What about you? Mm-hmm.
Yes, during the puja sometimes,
Mm.
not sometimes, regularly, if you do the puja, something like this, or we Abhishek for the deities, then we can have these feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know why, me, I don't know why, but it works. It works. We have these blissful feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's one of our pujaris. He likes doing the puja. Yes, Prabhu. Oh, no. You first, and then Adishesh.
I think for me, Krishna, what gives me a kind of a feeling that I am able to watch what action consciously, and whenever I do some actions, that it is not I surrender. There I see a many circumstances in life, and I do a bhava that no, I cannot do this, or it's you, I surrender.
Mm-hmm.
And then surrender is from really I surrender. In such situation, Krishna take over.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is something I feel it. And secondly, for me, Krishna, when I'm cooking, I fully involved in cooking,
Mm-hmm.
not thinking I'm cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I consciously involved in cooking. I think Krishna do his job. When I'm in, people are in conflict, I'm just observing, watching that thing. I think Krishna does it. So you talk about on Maya and material life. I don't know. There's a question. I don't know who created the material. I'm sure it is from the same divine. But what for me, Krishna teaching me, I think so, that the lack of or my desire to the materialistics I can watch, the consciousness can watch. The lack of Krishna not in with me, I'm able to watch is for me the Krishna feeling
Okay,
inside
so
me.
you're able to sort of observe yourself a little bit. Yeah, we all have that. I mean, I can think of a few situations where you have something to do and you think, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but then you say, okay, Krishna, this is what you want me to do. I surrender, and then that feeling of surrender, and then actually just seeing how Krishna makes things work out. It was, yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. You wanted to ask something? You had your hand up. Yes. Okay.
So my experience was when I was a guest in a temple. I was a guest in the Heidelberg temple. There was also a big room like here, but there was also a little corner. A little corner. There were Prabhupada's books. And I always came to the temple on Sunday as a guest. And I knew I can sit down in the chair and read some philosophy, meditate. And I thought this is the spiritual life. But then the temple commander came around, this was Mahavira, and he was very urgent. Can you please help me? We need help us in the kitchen. But in my mind, I was thinking, oh no. Why? I came here for spiritual life. Now I must work in the kitchen.
Mm.
But then I went in this kitchen and I helped cutting vegetables. And somehow the mood in my consciousness, in my heart, the mood changed completely. And I felt very blissful.
Mm.
Even more blissful than just sitting there and meditating and thinking about philosophical points. So this was my first experience of the difference. That Bhakti yoga means service with devotion, and this has an effect.
Mm.
Even if we don't have devotion, we just do it.
There's a wonderful letter that Prabhupada wrote in 1973. I think he wrote it to Jayapataka Maharaj. There's a wonderful quote in this letter, and I don't have the quote, so I'm paraphrasing, but he said that his prayer is that Krishna, whatever you put in front of me, that I will do to the best of my ability. So, and sometimes we want to do something, but Krishna says, no, no, I want you there. So sometimes it's also Krishna has to help us to grow. And and for growing, unfortunately, growing usually happens in uncomfortable situations where you have to do something either that you think, ich will das nicht, or I don't want to, or this is difficult, or something is there, or you have to work with someone that you don't get along with, or something like that. There's always some sort of thing that Krishna puts us in a situation, but it's always for our benefit. It's always to make us grow. And if we just say, okay, Krishna, I surrender, and then we usually have this feeling of, oh, this is actually nice. I thought I couldn't do this, or it's wonderful. And even if it is just very difficult from A to B to Z, at the end, when it's done and you did it, then it's also nice because you think, okay, I did this thing, I did it well, and Krishna is happy. I mean, we usually can feel when Krishna is happy with us. So whenever we do something that we know, so basically we should just pray to Krishna, Krishna, open my eyes so that I can see during the day what it is you want me to do. Like if there's something. And usually it's just our normal daily life, but Krishna sends us things that is very definitely a sign. Okay, I want you to do this now. All right. So now we are going to get up, and we are the next thing, because we have to take care of we have to just get the tables ready and get the prasadam in the temple room and everything. So during that, the preparation time, we will just clean up everything, take all the pillows, put it in the corner, and then each of you can offer a lamp to Krishna. And also, who's doing kirtan? Him, who's singing? Someone will sing, and we'll do kirtan and offer a lamp, and then prasad. Thank you very much for your attention and being here. And yeah, Hare Krishna. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.